Hello friends, in today's video we will talk about the sedimentation tank, okay, and what are the factors on which sedimentation tank depend and where it is used, basically the sedimentation tank, and how do we design a sedimentation tank, and what is the core concept of designing a sedimentation tank or a clarifier. So first of all, let's understand what is a sedimentation tank. So sedimentation tank, basically, if you see, I have talked about in the Stokes law also, how does it look like. The sedimentation tank, usually it looks like this. Okay, so we have an inlet zone, which is the inlet water which is coming from one end and it is going here, and then this is the for the oil that floats on the top of the water. Okay, so we will have a collection to skim it, so it will skim, and usually the oil floats on the top of the water. It doesn't go down because they are non-miscible and they are also the lesser in terms of a specific gravity, and then it will go to the secondary clarifier, and at the bottom we will get the sludge. So we have inlet zone, outlet zone, and a sludge zone. And also we have sometimes we have baffles here, so to reduce down the velocity of the incoming wastewater so that no particles escape, and then it is gradually removed at the bottom. Okay. Now in depth, the sedimentation tank is one of the simplest units in water and wastewater treatment, but most of us, they get confused because we all memorize formula without understanding the physics. The entire concept is the particles settle down faster than water carries them forward. So this is the core of the sedimentation tank. This is the core of the sedimentation tank. Now sedimentation tank is also called a clarifier, okay, and settling tank, where suspended particles settle under gravity. So you can see here, this is the inlet wall, we have baffles, we have outlet wall, flush wall. Okay, these are openings. Okay, and this is the way water flows, and this is the way the particles go down. Now, where the main purpose is remove suspended solids, reduce turbidity, reduce load on filters, separate sludge from water, and this is used in wastewater treatment plant, water treatment plants, and wastewater. Now, type of sedimentation tank could be regular. Okay, now today's notion is, or today's main core concept is to discuss basics of a sedimentation tank and solve certain problems. We will go very briefly. So we have rectangular tank, and is most common in water treatment. In front of us also, this is a rectangular sedimentation tank. Okay, flow enters from one side and exits from another. You can see it is entering and then exiting from another. Common, we have circular. Water enters and flows radially. For example, if you see, this one is my circular sedimentation tank. This is also a circular sedimentation tank. Okay, the principle is the particles settle down due to gravity. Okay, so settling velocity is greater than the upward or horizontal velocity. For example, this is my horizontal velocity and this is my settling down, going down. So this velocity is greater than the upward or horizontal, then so the particle is settled down. There is where Stokes law becomes valid or is important, and we all know what is Stokes law. It depends on the gravity or density of the particle and the diameter of the particle, and also dynamic viscosity or kinematic viscosity of the particles. And as we all know, that is only valid for small particles, discrete particles, laminar flow, and Reynolds number should be less than 1. Now, usually the design criteria for detention time for the plain sedimentation tank, the time will be from 2 to 6 hours. Surface overflow rate should be lying from 20 to 40 meter cube per meter square day. Weir loading should lie between 125 to 300 meters cube per meter day. Depth will be lying from 3 to 5 meters. These are all in SI. And the length to width ratio is 3:1 to 5:1. Freeboard is usually given to the height or depth of the tank. So it's 0.3 to 0.6 meters. Velocity in the tank should be 0.15 to 0.3 meters per minute. You can eventually convert that into meters per second or centimeters per second, centimeters per minute. Now, what is surface overflow rate? So surface overflow rate is the most important concept here, which determines the particles settle or escape, which is a ratio of flow rate upon area. So if you write this, SOR is equal to Q by A. Okay, and here Q is the flow rate and A is the surface area of the particular unit, which is sedimentation, rectangular or circular. Now the flow rate unit is meters cube per meter square day, and the area would be meter square, or sometimes Q is also denoted at meter per day. Now if this particular term is lower, okay, so it means better settling. If it is higher, the particle will escape and go to the outward tank or the outlet. If the water rises upward slower than particle settling velocity, then the particle will settle down. Now the Weir loading, if we have another term which is called Weir loading, which is also called WLR, which is equal to the overflow rate at outlet weir, which is equal to Q by L. Now Q is the flow rate and L is not the length of the tank, it is the weir length. Okay, so the higher weir length causes turbulence, short circuiting, slurries carry over. Now the basic designs or steps of these rectangular sedimentation tank, you will be given the flow rate, SOR will be given, depth you have to assume. So depth should be 3 to 5 meters. Now first of all, we will find the first step is you will find the area, and area is equal to Q by SOR. Then length is to width, as I told you earlier, is 3 to 5:1. So it's 3 is to 1 is to 5:1. So you have to assume length is how many times of width? Is it 3 or 4 or 4.5? You can do an hit and trial and see whatever you are getting, the SOR and WLR is in the range or not. Then the next step is you will calculate the volume. This is not the velocity, this is the volume. V is equal to Q times of T. Okay. So here Q is the flow rate and T is the time. And time is detention time. So how long the particle will stay inside the sedimentation tank would clarify. Now area will be, if it is a circular sedimentation tank, then area would be pi d square by 4. Okay. Or if it is a rectangular sedimentation tank, the area will be L into B. Okay. Now, for example, we already saw this. What is the objectives of sedimentation tank? Collect sludge. We all know this. Reduce the loads and filter, increase on time. Collect settled sludge safely without disturbing the settled layer, which has been settled, not to disturb that. Provide a stable hydraulic condition with minimum short circuit. Okay. Now you can see here the plain set. We have plain sedimentation, so raw water with high settleable solids, no chemicals, so there will be no coagulation and flocculation unit coupled with that. Now if the sedimentation tank is coupled with coagulation and flocculation, so this is the conventional water treatment plant. So most commonly for turbidity removal, flocks settle after chemical treatment. Okay, we have very fine solids. Now rectangular horizontal flow tank. So this is usually for the large wastewater treatment plants, and this is long time flow travel horizontally, sludge removed by the scraper. So if we have sludge here at the down, so you'll remove this by scraping them. Okay. Now tube settler, which we have not covered, we have covered only the first 3, so we'll be focusing on top 3 only. So now this is the design criteria as per the book. Okay, you can see the detention time lies from 2 to 6 hours. So this is for the plain sedimentation tank, and this is for the plain sedimentation tank that is coupled with the coagulation and flocculation unit. The surface overflow rate, so it is also called SOR or V0 or sometimes OFR also. This is a range 20 to 40 meter cube per meter square day for conventionals. Conventional means the traditional one. Critical design criteria depends on the plan area, the top area. Weir loading is 125 to 240 meter cube per meter day. Okay, and it also depends on the length of the outlet pier. Horizontal flow is usually less than 0. This is not the vertical velocity. This is the horizontal velocity. So it's this velocity, not the vertical velocity. Now the free bore has to be 0.3 to 0.6 meter. This will be added to the depth or height of the tank. Length to width ratio is 3:1 to 5:1, and this is for the rectangular tanks. Now length to depth ratio is 10:1 to 20:1. Okay, and sludge zone is, this is for the this zone, sludge zone. So this is an additional depth other than the free bore, and the number of tanks, one would be working, the other one would be instant, or you can say standby unit. Now these are flow conversions. Okay, if it's in kilometer per day, so the flow rate will be MLD into 1000, and this is the plan area, which is equal to the ratio of flow rate upon SOR or OFR, or you can say V0. Okay, as you saw here. Now the tank volume is equal to flow rate into detention time. Depth from volume area is equal to D is equal to V upon A. Rectangular tank, or you can say the volume is equal to area into depth. Rectangular plan area is equal to L into B. Length to width relationship we saw at the top. Okay, 3:1 is to 4:1, or 5:1. Width is this is for the, so it's square root A upon R. Okay, and this is the length is equal to R into B. Okay, and this is basically for the circular sedimentation tank. Surface overflow rate is equal to SOR is equal to Q by A. Horizontal velocity is equal to VH is equal to Q upon cross sectional area. The cross sectional area is equal to B into D, not L into B. And settling principle we saw in the Stokes law. Now the factors affecting the sedimentation tank performance is particle size, density. These are all the Stokes law: viscosity, coagulation and flocculations, surface overflow rate, inlet and outlet designs. We have a baffles or not, strong baffles, or now the wind and thermal current, sludge removal, hydraulic loading variations. You are not able to certain peak flows or not. Okay, now these are all the conversions, and these already I have discussed. We will be finding the area, how we'll find the area, how we'll find the depth. You have to assume the depth, or length is to width ratio, what is that, and then finding the L and B, then Weir loading rate, then freeboard. Now these are certain problems here. For example, you have to design a circular sedimentation tank for a water treatment plant with Q is equal to 10 mld, it means 10 milliliter per day. So you will use a SOR 30 meter cube per meter square day. Now detention time is 3 hours already given here, and length into width is, and we have to find for 2 tanks. So we will find, first of all, find the Q in terms of meters cube per hour. So we already know that 10 mld is equal to what? we will multiply by 1000, so we will get this in 1000 meters cube per day. Now we will convert that in meters cube per hour. 1 day is equal to 24 hours. Okay, then the total plan area is what? Q upon SOR. Okay, so this is for 2 tanks. Now for 1 tank, since we know that it is given 2 tanks, so we'll divide by 2, and then we will find the volume, and volume is equal to flow rate into detention time. Detention time is already assumed 3 hours, so we will get the volume here. Now after getting the volume, we know that volume is what? Q upon Q upon, yes, volume is already given, and then you have to find, this is for what? For 1 tank. So for 2 tanks it will be half. Okay, now depth is V upon A. So this is what? This is the volume is given, area we know that, so this is acceptable. Now for length into width is 4:1, so we'll find out, substituting the value, we'll find out the B. So when we know B, we'll find the, so when we know L, we'll find the B. So this is for the, and then we will add the freeboard in the depth. So this 3.75 plus 0.5 meters. Now this is another problem here. Sedimentation tank, as I mentioned, L is equal to 30 meter, B is equal to 8 meter, and depth is equal to 4, with full as this. So we will check the surface overflow rate and the detention time. So we will first of all convert that into same thing we will do from the first problem. We will first convert the meter cube per hour, then area is equal to L into B, which is 240 meter square. Then SOR is equal to Q upon A. This is acceptable because the SOR is lying from, if you see here, is lying from 20 to 40. So this is 33.3. So which is acceptable. Then we will find the volume, and then we will find the detention time. Now this is the tank receives this much amount of water. The weir length, this is the weir loading rate is equal to Q upon weir length. So this is again acceptable, which is lying from 125 to 250. Now this is again the Q. SOR is given. If 1 tank should not exceed this area, find the minimum number of tanks. So the total area is what? SOR upon Q, and Q is given. So the area is this one. So the number of tanks is how much? The total area upon the 1 area. So now the tank is 2.5, so we will say that we have 3 tanks. Similarly, this is for circular sedimentation tanks, so we have not covered, we will skip these. These are some of the practice problems. Okay, and these are some, for example, the main force responsible for particle removal in sedimentation tank is pressure, gravity, evaporation. So it is gravity, not pressure. The most important parameter for ideal sedimentation tank design is surface overflow rate, pipe diameter, freeboard, color of water. So this is surface overflow rate, not pipe diameter. In conventional WTP sedimentation tank uses pressure water. So it is coagulation and flocculation. If the flow rate increases but tank area remains constant, SOR will increase or decrease. So it will increase because SOR is equal to Q upon A. Detention time is 5 to 10 minutes, 2 to 6 hours, 2 to 6 hours. Now L is to B ratio is B, 3:1 is to 5:1. Weir loading is calculated as Q upon plane area, Q upon tank volume. So this is Q upon total weir length. A particle will be removed in an ideal sedimentation tank when settling velocity is greater than the overflow rate, greater than or equal to. Excessive sludge accumulation in a tank can cause increase in effective volume, improve all settings automatically, so it will reduce effective depth and resuspend salts. The tube settlers are used mainly to increase, so we have not covered this. Now these are the quick design checklist. So design flow, selected convected correctly, at least 2 unit, SOR check, detention time check, depth is practical, L upon W ratio is practical, weir loading rate should be within limit. If it is not, you have to again do an hit and trial within, whether you vary the depth, whether you vary the detention time, whether you vary the length to depth ratio. Inlet, baffle and outlet weir arrangement is included. They have to baffle valve to reduce the incoming velocity of the water. Sludge removal and sludge storage allowance has also to be included. I have not included this in your course, so you can skip this. Freeboard has to be added to the depth or height over time. Final rounded dimension rechecked. Now in your chapters, if you look at, there are some problems. Okay, for example, if you see here, surface overflow rate of a flocculator clarifier is 60 liter per meter square minute. Express this in this. So the surface water depth is 3.5 meter. Calculate detention period. Now with detention period, we all know that is equal to what? Is equal to the detention time is equal to volume upon flow rate. Now surface overflow rate is already given here, so we will convert this into meters cube per meter square day, and this is what surface water depth, or you can call this depth. Okay, so depth is already given 3.5, so we will divide this by surface overflow rate. So here this is in line with the, okay, and this problem we have already solved in the lectures. 6.4, 6.5 is already solved. Okay, so this was all about the problems for the sedimentation tank, how to design, okay, sedimentation tank, what should be the parameters, what should be the range of detention time, what should be the range of velocity, what should be the L is to width ratio.